everyone, I'm Dr. Carolyn Willekes, and welcome to this episode of The Tale Behind. As you've noticed, I am not accompanied by any living animals this week. I have no co-stars, and that's because the animal I'm talking about doesn't really roam the streets of Calgary or our foothills or the Rocky Mountains, because I want to talk about lions. And to do so, I'm going to focus on a very important archaeological site known as Showby Cave, which is located in southern France on the Ardèche River. So this cave was discovered in 1944, and it is truly an artistic and archaeological masterpiece. It contains hundreds of paintings, and these paintings are not of humans, they're of animals. And they were painted over 30,000 years ago during the Upper Paleolithic period. Now, there's a lot of really cool things we can talk about in terms of Showby Cave. We know that it wasn't painted all at once. It was painted over a very long period of time, so humans kept returning to this cave and adding more images to it. They're layered on top of each other. We know that animals themselves visited the cave because they left their own mark in terms of paw prints and bones, and actually cave bear claw marks, scratch marks, onto the walls of the cave that are intermixed with the paintings. But it's the paintings themselves I want to talk about. There are 13 different animal species that are depicted in at least 13 different species depicted in the Showby Cave paintings. And generally speaking, when we talk about Paleolithic cave art, animal art, the focus is often on prey animals, on food animals that we as humans would have hunted. But Showby Cave also contains many, many representations of predators, including lions. So these lions are Eurasian cave lions. This is a now extinct species that evolved about 500,000 years ago. They look a bit different from the lions we're familiar with, notably in that the male lion doesn't have a mane, so there's no obvious physical difference between male and female lions. So that says something about the evolution of the species as well. One of the most famous panels in this cave, in Showby Cave, is called the Panel of the Lions, and it depicts a scene that you are probably very familiar with if you've ever watched like a Nat Geo special or BBC Earth or Animal Planet stuff talking about lions in the African savannah. You've seen a lion hunt, and that is exactly what's happening in this panel. You have a pride of 16 lions who are hunting wild bovids. They're hunting sort of a now extinct species of bison. And the focus is on their faces, but it's remarkable because you can see these are simple, I say simple in quotation marks, line drawings, but you can see the intensity of the hunt in their faces and their eyes, and they're kind of snarling and they're ready to go, right? They're gonna bring down that meal so they can eat something and feed themselves on that particular day. There are other lions in the cave as well. There's a large adult lion that stands face to face with a lion cub. There's another scene that shows probably a male and female lion rubbing up against each other in some sort of a display of affection or a mating ritual. In other words, the lions that we see in Showby Cave, along with the other animals, are acting like lions. These aren't sort of caricatures or anthropomorphized ideals. These are lions being shown in naturalistic poses, interacting with each other as lions would, right? They run, they snarl, they play with each other. What does this tell us? Well, it tells us that the artists who produced these paintings were actually observing the animals that they were reproducing, the animals that they were painting on these cave walls. We have no idea why these paintings were made, right? There's tons of different theories out there, from sort of shamanism and trance visions to sort of hunting and fertility magic to some sort of catalog or record. But what we do know is that the people who painted them knew something about the animals in the world around them, and they were trying to create these realistic impressions of them. But coming back to the lion itself, these caves provide some really important and useful information as to where lions used to exist. Right now, we associate lions with sub-Saharan Africa. That's where the predominant wild population is. There's also a population in India. But 30,000 years ago, there were lions in the south of France. Right? Lions used to have a much broader habitat. Lions were a regular part of the landscape in the Mediterranean, along with other animals that you will no longer find wandering the wilds of France, including rhinos. So this tells us something important about changing environments and ecosystems and how they may have altered over time. I mean, at one point, lions had actually reached up to the British Isles. They found a 125,000-year-old lion toe bone in Trafalgar Square. But over the millennia, their habitat has shrunk considerably. Estimates now are that lions basically live in less than 94% of their historic range. They've gone extinct. They've been extirpated from many parts of their habitat. What this tells us is that even though lions are symbolically and culturally one of the most prominent and significant animals, our actual relationship in trying to coexist with them is very different. So lions may represent everything from heroes to nobility to important religious figures, but as apex predators, we've struggled to learn how to coexist with them. Without archaeology, it would have been harder to discover all this. Without these paintings and images and the remains of lions found throughout the Eurasian world, we might have always thought that lions only existed in Africa and maybe one small part of India. So archaeology can tell us a lot about our relationship with animals and how it may have changed or influenced the fate of those animals over many, many thousands of years. Thanks for checking in, and we'll see you all next time.